Sunday, September 27, 2020. Lights, camera, Jackson here. Welcome to LCJ Live. I've got Bart Simpson here with me. This, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody here, this is a Bart phone. This is a telephone. This is so cool. Yes. Call it up. Boop, 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 boop. Call me here. We'll make this like the LCJ telethon. Call in, or it's a call-in show. I mean, that's basically what LCJ Live is. It's a call-in show, except you're tweeting me comments or posting messages of comments on Periscope, because I can see them here on LCJ Live. But this is the old-fashioned way of doing it. Give me a call. It's great. Simpsons is back tonight, 8 o'clock, Fox, after the football games on the East Coast. And it's a brand new season, 32nd season. I first thought it was going to be the last one. I guess there's a deal in the works. They'll probably go at least 3 more years. But that's where we're at. But isn't this cool? Isn't this Bart phone something? Hey, send in your questions, your comments, or call in if you've got one too. Here on LCJ Live. We'll get into box office. We'll get into the preview of the week ahead in entertainment, film, and television, and lots happening. You know, I was watching last night the hockey game. Woo! That was exciting. Tampa Bay and Dallas hockey. If you haven't seen it yet, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it was an exciting game. And it will continue for NBC Monday night, the next game for the Stanley Cup Finals. Of course, the NBA Finals also happening this week. Could it be Wednesday? Could it be Friday? That will be determined at some point today, I believe. Because Lakers won last night. Lakers! So they're into the NBA Finals. Question is, which team will be joining them? We will find out maybe tonight. And we'll see when that all starts up. Jimmy Kimmel Live Game Night will return. Either Wednesday for Game 1 or Friday for Game 1, depending on what happens. So excited for that. What's up, DJ Richopo? Welcome to Sunday. Happy Sunday afternoon. Can you believe that September is almost over already? Oh my gosh. Time's going by. And you know, I have now seen 152 new movies in 2020. And there are still more than 3 months to go. That is crazy. That is a record for me. My previous record for number of movies, new movies. Now, when I say new movie, I mean a new 2020 release. Number of new movies that I saw in a calendar year was actually 2017 with 148. I have now broken that record and will shatter it as we go through the next 3 months and 3 days of 2020. Watched 2 new movies yesterday. Both coming to Netflix. And I really can't talk about either yet. I could get into Boys in the Band a little bit, but I'm going to be writing a review of that and posting that soon. Cannot give my thoughts on Over the Moon right now. I am embargoed on that. But I checked out Over the Moon, new musical from Glenn Keane, animated film, coming to Netflix October 23rd. I watched that yesterday, followed by The Boys in the Band, which is the new Netflix drama with Jim Parsons, Zachary Quinto, Matt Bomer, some other names are in it. I watched that last night. That is on Netflix this Wednesday. I will have my review of that soon. I will also have my review of The Glorious tomorrow, the new Gloria Steinem film with Julianne Moore and Alicia Vikander. I watched that. I have seen Then Came You, which is Kathy Lee Gifford and Craig Ferguson's new movie. It's in theaters Wednesday. I will have my review of that on Wednesday morning. And tonight I'm going to be checking out 2067, which is a new sci-fi film coming to theaters and maybe VOD as well, or prominently VOD on Friday. So checking out a lot. It was a double feature yesterday because the American Film Institute put on this virtual screening of Over the Moon, which is very nice of them to do, and then checked out Boys in the Band. I hadn't done a double in actually quite a while. Been watching pretty much a new movie a day almost, during this COVID quarantine at home period, whatever you want to call it. But actually, based on timing, had not watched 2 new movies in a day, I don't think since January. I could be wrong on that, but I think it has been a little while since that actually happened. So it was nice to check that out. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Ratchet on Netflix. I have not checked out Ratchet yet, but I have not heard great things, to be quite honest. But Netflix has a lot. Not only the 2 movies I just mentioned. Hubie Halloween with Adam Sandler is on the way. Also Rebecca, The Trial of the Chicago 7, which I hope to watch this week. And the George Clooney movie, The Midnight Sky, is coming in December. Mank from David Fincher. The Prom from Ryan Murphy is coming in December to Netflix. Ryan Murphy, also producer on Boys in the Band. So a lot. Netflix has a lot. Just don't watch Devil all the time. Please, whatever you do, do not watch The Devil all the time on Netflix. Not worth your time. What's up, MovieBot3000? Thanks for being here on LCJ Live. This week on Tuesday night is the premiere of Weakest Link, which is the revival game show hosted by Jane Lynch. She's taken over for Ann Robinson and George Gray, the announcer of Price is Right, who hosted the syndicated version of The Weakest Link for a few years. New version, NBC shot these episodes recently, starting this up. They probably had some meetings and said, what game show can we revive? And the answer is The Weakest Link. Jane Lynch been a host for Hollywood Game Night for NBC for, I think, 7.5 years now. About 75 episodes total. And now she is The Weakest Link host. So I'm looking forward to that this week, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock on NBC. Simpsons back, as I mentioned off the top. I got a lot of cool Simpsons merchandise from pre-LCJ, from the modern era, the Simpsons movie, and some of this cool stuff. I've had this Bart phone for a long time. It is very, very fun. Let's get into the box office a little bit. Couple movies opened up. Well, actually, several movies opened up, VOD and theaters, but 2 in theaters with Richard Jenkins. And I had a chance to see both of these movies early here at home. One is Kajillionaire, which also stars Evan Rachel Wood and Gina Rodriguez. The other is The Last Shift, which also stars Ed O'Neill. Both movies are terrible. The Last Shift is slightly better than Kajillionaire, but when I say slightly, The Last Shift I give a D+, and Kajillionaire I give a D. They're both bad films. And Richard Jenkins, over the top, intolerable to watch his characters, just the way the characters are, the performances, especially his character in Kajillionaire, so annoying. So imagine if you may have done this. If you are at a multiplex this weekend, or you plan on going to one, and you like Richard Jenkins, I feel bad that you might sit through these 2 movies because they're both bad. You might do the Richard Jenkins double feature of Kajillionaire and Last Shift. Wow, what a day that would be. I don't know. Both of these movies have not made much money this weekend. $215,000 for Kajillionaire, $235,000, something like that for The Last Shift this weekend. It's not good. It is just not good. Why are these movies not doing well? Not only is it COVID, but I don't know if people know these movies exist. People don't know that they haven't been marketed, things like that. But they're not very good. That's the main point. If the reviews come out and say they're bad, nobody's going to go. There might be a slight percentage of people who just want to get out of the house, go to a movie. But why sit through those? Why pay $15, $17 if you're in big markets to go see these terrible movies, especially now? I mean, one thing that should happen out of all this is the ticket prices should be lowered at least a little bit, but they won't be because the theaters need to make the money, and it's all this whole back and forth. Here's what I want to get to here on LCJ Live with the box office, and that is TENET. TENET, once again, leads the pack, but down to $3.4 million this weekend. So it opened up, let's see if we can do this math here quickly. It opened up on the 28th, right? 28th, I think, in some markets in Canada. Came out Monday the 31st in North America with the preview screenings, including the one I went to. We were at 20 million after Labor Day, right at that mark. And now here we are 3 weeks later, and we're at $41.2 million. So it's doubled its money from its first weekend, but it's not a stellar, pun intended, figure. It comes down to a few things. Not only is it COVID, not only is it people not wanting to go to the theater, some are scared, hesitant, and I understand your concerns. I did it. I went to TENET in the theater day one here in the state of Vermont, actually. Left New York to go to Vermont. But I understand that completely. But also you got to look at this. Christopher Nolan's previous movies, once he became a real red-hot director. Now, The Prestige had some big names. Hugh Jackman, Christian Bale, Scarlett Johansson. But even though they were well-known, they weren't, I don't think, as big as they are now, all of them. And The Prestige was a niche film. So you got to look past post-Prestige, which is The Dark Knight. Dark Knight had a hook. Batman. 2 years later, Inception. Inception had a lot of buzz, not only coming off of The Dark Knight, but also the big name in Leonardo DiCaprio as your lead actor in the film. People will go to a Leonardo DiCaprio movie no matter what the film is. He's like Tom Hanks. He's like Denzel. He skews older even though he's younger in a sense, and he always sort of has. People will go to a Leonardo DiCaprio movie no matter what it is. That was part of the hook for Inception, was your A-lister. Next, Dark Knight Rises. Obviously, people wanted to go to see the final chapter in his Batman trilogy. Now, Dark Knight Rises suffered a little bit because of the massacre, the movie theater massacre, but it still made a lot of money. Then, your next film from Christopher Nolan was Interstellar. And who did it star? Matthew McConaughey, hot off the Oscar win for Dallas Buyers Club. Anne Hathaway, shortly after she won for Les Mis, and they're big names, huge stars in the lead roles, especially McConaughey, but Hathaway too. They're kind of equals in this case. And so people went simply for the star power and the intrigue, a little bit sci-fi, but there was your hook. Your hook was the stars of the movie. Dunkirk. You'll say, well, Kenneth Branagh, Michael Caine, they were supporting roles. Yes, your hook here was World War II. And your hook here was a summer World War II film that skewed older and that older moviegoers could relate to, and a shorter film, the shortest film that Christopher Nolan had done in quite some time. And so that was your hook, and that's why Dunkirk made so much money. What's your hook here for Tenet? Your big name is John David Washington, who, yes, he's Denzel's son. Yes, he was nominated for some awards for BlacKkKlansman, but not the Academy Award. He has not reached the A-list status quite yet. Will this film help him? Sure, but he's not an A-lister like McConaughey or Leonardo DiCaprio. Your next big star in it is Robert Pattinson. Now, yes, Robert Pattinson was in the Twilight Saga, but that ended 8 years ago? It was a long time ago. And his fan base for that, a large percentage of that fan base isn't interested in Tenet, isn't interested in a complicated, confusing, big budget, sci-fi, action, spy movie from Christopher Nolan. They're not interested in that. So you're not going to bring in a lot, probably 95% of that Twilight audience, to go see Robert Pattinson in a film like this. You don't have the A-listers. So that's a problem that Tenet has and why it's not making much money. Again, this is besides COVID. There are several reasons. That was one of them. The second reason why Tenet is not doing that well is because the reviews are mixed to negative. Inception blew people's minds, some people's minds. It blew them away, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, Inception, wow. So people had to go. People had to go to the Batman movies. Interstellar intrigued some enough to go. Dunkirk, the reviews were great. You had to go. The reviews to Tenet are mixed to negative overall. There are some glowing ones, but a lot of it was mixed to negative, and I credit my colleague and friend Rick Marshall from Digital Trends for saying this. That probably steered a lot of people away, even out of the gate. Those who were on the fence to say, do I go to the theater? Do I not? Well, apparently the movie's not that great. I'm not saying it's worth it. It's just not worth it, at least right now. That's what a lot of it is as well. Number 3, state of New York still doesn't have indoor movie theaters open, nor can Tenet be shown in the state of New York in drive-ins. That is hurting it. But the other big reason is this rumored DVD release date for Tenet is apparently December 15th. Hopefully Warner Brothers will confirm this at some point soon. But you have to figure the normal timeline, at least when things were normal, of when a movie opened to its DVD release date was about 3 to 3.5 months. It used to be 4. I remember when it used to be 6. I remember a movie would open and you would wait 6 months until it came out on DVD. They shortened it to 4. And then a couple of years ago, they shortened it to 3. And sometimes even less than 3 months. But the average is about 3. So if we look at August 31 as day 1, and we look at December 15 as this possible DVD release date, that is only 3.5 months. Warner Brothers giving Tenet this runway, as it has been called, this runway to make as much money in theaters as it possibly can, especially here in North America. But at some point, you just can't make any more money. You just can't. We've gone from 3-day weekends of 9 million, 9.4, down to 6.7, down to 4.7, down to 3.4. And before that, 9.4 million was like 2.6 million in Canada. So we went 2.6, 9.4, 6.7, 4.7, 3.4. So it'll probably make about 2 million next weekend. Maybe million and a half if it's lucky. The weekend after that, if theaters in New York are still not open, and if Los Angeles theaters are still not open. And then it's going to go under $1 million. It just is. The New Mutants has avoided going under $1 million after 5-6 weeks now, which is surprising, but maybe people are trying to give New Mutants a chance. So maybe Tenet will keep making a little more than $1 million every weekend, but at some point it's going to go under $1 million. It just is. It's going to happen. So Warner Brothers is giving the film this runway, and having this 3.5 months, but yet the 3.5 months will end and it'll be on DVD. I predicted after I saw Tenet, gee, I think it's going to either end up on DVD or it's going to end up on HBO Max by Christmas. And so this is probably going to be the case. So people will wait. People will wait until December 15 for Tenet on DVD. If you were on the fence, if you were concerned about going to an indoor movie theater, you will wait till December 15 if you're a diehard Christopher Nolan fan. And that pool itself is a small percentage of the general movie-going population. Even though Christopher Nolan's movies have done well, like I said, it depends on star power and a hook that people can wrap their heads around. You couldn't wrap your heads around a hook for Tenet, and it doesn't have the star power, and the reviews aren't great. So there are reasons beyond COVID why Tenet isn't doing well. Now, if we were under normal circumstances and Tenet opened in the middle of July, what would the box office have been like? Would it have been stellar? Or would it have been a major Nolan disappointment under normal circumstances? I remember reading some headlines before COVID saying that Tenet still wasn't going to open that well. It was like, wow, maybe people were really thinking about this back in February, January. That even though Warner Brothers had this tentpole July date secured for quite a long time, Christopher Nolan loves opening movies in July, that people weren't thinking it was going to do that well. What's up, JR_colon? Thanks for being here on LCJ Live as we get you ready for the Simpsons premiere tonight. And the weakest link is Tuesday. We've got NHL action. We've got NBA action this week. The return of Jimmy Kimmel Live Game Night and a whole bunch of new movies. If you want my reviews of all 8 of the movies that opened up in theaters and on VOD and streaming this weekend, go to lights-camera-jackson.com. 8 movies. Got a rapid review of 1. 3 written reviews in the Now in Theater section. 4 more written reviews in the New at Home section. All brand new movies that you can check out in a whole bunch of different places. Some are good, some are bad. I'll have my review tomorrow of The Glorious, my rapid review of that. Also this week, reviews of Then Came You, The Boys in the Band, 2067. Eternal Beauty. Eternal Beauty is another new movie coming out on Friday on VOD, a film I watched the other night with Sally Hawkins. Quite a film. Quite a film. I will have my review of that coming at you this week as well. And hopefully On the Rocks. On the Rocks, the Bill Murray, Rashida Jones movie. A24 and Apple are putting out in select theaters on Friday. How many theaters? We don't know. Which markets around the country? We don't know that either. But it's not coming to Apple TV Plus until the 23rd of October. So the question is, will members of the media be able to check it out before this Friday, or will it be in that in-between period? And I will have to see about that, and we'll have to see what happens there. Hopefully we'll check out On the Rocks this week. But again, reviews of Eternal Beauty, Then Came You, The Glorious, and The Boys in the Band all coming at you starting tomorrow in these next few days at lights-camera-jackson.com. What's up, Vazia Dancer? Thanks for being here on LCJ Live. As always, follow me on Twitter at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson, Facebook as well. Posting a bunch of stuff over the next several days. And check out animationscoop.com for some of my recent interviews. Did you watch TZGZ last night? Every Saturday night on Sci-Fi animated shows now, including Magical Girl Friendship Squad and Wildlife. I talk with the creators of those, and you can look for those Q&As at animationscoop.com. I am Lights Camera Jackson. Fly Eagles, fly. Go Eagles today. Hopefully we don't make it 0-3. That would be bad. Stay safe. Stay well. Stay positive. Keep watching, hopefully, good films and television shows. This Friday is the final episode of Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus for the season. So if you've been waiting the whole season, and I know some people have, to watch all 10 episodes of Ted Lasso, you can finally do that starting Friday. One of the best shows of the year. I'm LCJ. Thanks for watching LCJ Live, and I will see you back here next Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern in October. Can you believe that? Wow. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks.